Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Thank you very much for joining. We're waiting 10 more minutes until all the other guests can also arrive. So feel free to have a coffee or anything else, maybe a toilet break before we start.
Test, test. Especially for our colleague Judith.
All right, the time is ticking down. Another 7 minutes, we'll wait. So we're expecting another 30 guests today, and I think they'll join last minute, or maybe they'll watch the recordings back later. So we'll wait another 5.5 minutes for them to arrive and grab their coffees and be ready for the webinar. more guests arriving. Hello, welcome everyone. We're waiting another 4.5 minutes for everyone to join the webinar and start our session. So it's 3.5 more minutes. It's almost like New Year's countdown, but then a little bit different.
Without the fireworks.
Without fireworks.
Well, we are bringing the fireworks with this new release, right?
Yes, fireworks. So for everyone who's already joined, it's possible to ask questions during the session. Above in Teams, it says on my screen V&A, but maybe on yours it says Q&A. So there you can ask questions and then we will see them. And it's also possible to send chat in. So we're expecting another 25 guests. People are tripling in. Welcome everyone, also the new guests. Thank you for joining. Hi.
Good morning, everybody.
One more minute and then we'll start.
Countdown from 10.
Oh, it's sticking also with sound. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome and great to see you all attending this webinar on the new release for pCon.planner version 8.12. My name is Fleur Slobbe. I am account manager at Eastern Graphics and I will be your host for this webinar. The aim of the coming 45 minutes is to take you all the way through the new features within this application. We are also recording the session, so we can send the recordings to you afterwards, together with a PDF document of the presentation. So there is no need to take notes, but if you want to, you can, of course. During the session, you can send a chat, and it's also possible to ask questions in the V&A or Q&A section that you can see above. And if there's time in the end, we will answer all your questions. If not, we will definitely answer all the questions afterwards. So I would like to give the floor to my colleague Mark, product coordinator, and he will tell you everything about the new release.
Yes, thank you, Fleur, for the nice introduction. So also from my side, good morning, everyone. And my name is Mark. I'm going to update you about the new features of pCon.planner 8.12, the new version of pCon.planner that is going to be available to you on Monday, the 5th of May. I will use a basic presentation, which I will share on my screen. So one moment, please.
All right.
And assuming that you can see it at this point, Fleur, can you confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I see a thumbs up as well, so it's going well.
Yeah, great, great. Well, to give you like an overview of the main topics, these are the topics, especially compared to the last pCon.planner update, version 8.12 brings quite a lot of new features. We set out the 5 most important topics in this webinar that you can see on the screen right now. But to give you like a brief summary, it's about enhanced materials, the introduction of models, a new concept, simplified sharing via Impress, a new measurement feature settings, and an improved sealing system. And we will take you through these topics one by one. The first 2 topics for materials and models are 2 like application transcending topics, which means that they will not only apply to the new pCon.planner version, but also to other core pCon applications. So first, I'm going to tell you something about the new parameters for OFML materials. Then I'm going to tell you a bit about the new concept of models that we further integrate the pCon catalog into our products. So the last 3 main topics will be some new functionalities, especially within pCon.planner itself. And with each subject, I will first take you through the basic slides. And after that, I will showcase some things on that subject directly in pCon.planner. So starting with the first topic, which is the enhanced materials. pCon.planner 8.12 offers more variety in creating materials. So that means that we are now supporting an extended material model that we call OMATS 2.2 technically. But what's in it? A new sheen effect, a new clear coat effect, the support of emissive, or as we also tend to say, glowing textures, and the support for transparent textures independent from selecting a color from the base color map. And accordingly, we also extended the material editor in pCon.planner to incorporate these features. And in line with the incorporation of the new materials, the import and export functionalities for the geometries has also been extended in a way that they also support the processing of those new material types. So to give you some concrete examples, at first, what are we talking about? This is like a concrete example of a sheen effect to simulate velvet. And you can really see the difference in the material that is being applied to the blanket, the red blanket in this case. The second one, a clear coat. What are we talking about? It's like the effect for more natural looking finishes, as you can see in this red sports car, but also on the brown tabletop that's in your screen at the moment. So you could also combine those effects, the sheen effect, the clear coat effect, which you can see in the two examples over here, obviously, with the blue chair and the purple sports car. And last but not least, the emissive, the glowing textures for luminous surfaces, as you can see on the monitor and on the lamp in the illustrations on your screen at this point. So to take you through pCon.planner, what am I really talking about? This is like an example of a drawing, a DWG file in the old pCon.planner version. Hope you can see it. Fleur, can you confirm that?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. So when I zoom in to those couches, yeah, they will have like a well detailed surface. But in the new pCon.planner version, we take it to the next level. And same goes for the tabletop, the office chair that has a mesh in it, but isn't transparent, as you can see. And we could also apply like an emissive or a glowing texture on the monitor of the laptop, which I will show to you by switching to our new version. And you can see on the couches what I mean exactly with the vase in the couch, the leather look when you zoom in closely, and also the real difference with the green sofa and the chair, the sheen that we applied on both models, and last but not least, the transparent mesh on the office chair, as you can see, and the glowing texture in the laptop, the screen of the laptop. So how can you apply those textures? To give you an example of the mesh of the office chair, you see that it has this transparent look, and the mesh itself has also got like the texture where you can see through. By selecting the material editor and specifically the material picker, selecting the mesh of the chair again, you can see that there are transparent areas present, but also visible and solid areas. So in the past, we had like a slider over here and an option to enter a value for transparency. But from pCon.planner 8.12 onwards, you can import like a texture via the import function on the right-hand side, as you can see. And you have the option of importing an image or a texture folder. So the file type that you should use for this is like a JPEG type. So having done this, you will see the texture map with the material properties, and it looks like a black and white image, as you can see, but it represents the transparency of the material in a certain way, which means that, yeah, the black pixels, as you might call them, are the transparent particles, sorry, and the white pixels are the solid particles. So that's the first example. Second example for the emissive or glowing textures is obviously the screen of my laptop that I placed into the DWG file, and also selecting the material picker again and going to my screen, going back to the material editor. You can see that I created this material with a glowing texture, as you can see. And you could apply this, for example, for electronics and lamps. And yeah, in previous versions of pCon.planner, you could only specify a base color and a so-called luminance, an absolute value for luminance material. But instead of using a base color for the luminance material in pCon.planner 8.12, you can now use an image. So the bright pixels in the image will then also emit quite a glowing effect, and the colored pixels in the image will emit a slightly weaker light. So by switching to the night version of this drawing, you can see the real difference. Not only in the laptop, but also within the lamp, as you can see. So sorry. Going back to the daylight version. The clear code, that's the next example that I want to showcase, and I already kind of did just now, but taking a closer look to the leather sofa, selecting the material picker again via the material editor, you can look to the material that's being used. And as you can see, it's like a combination of two different normal maps that are applied. There's one default normal map present for the large like creases in the sofa, while you create like a second one for the surface relief for the leather texture. So that's what you see when you zoom in deeper into the model. So yeah, in the past you couldn't create like a normal map for texturing on the leather, but now you can. So that's like an enhancement that we created in pCon.planner as well. And last but not least, the sheen effect, as you can see by selecting the material picker again and giving you a concrete example. You can see beneath that we have like a sheen section, but also the clear code section that you can use to change the settings of the sheen and the clear code accordingly once you have put on a normal map upon your basic model in this case. So yeah, those are the 4 different examples that I wanted to showcase to you. And feel free, of course, once the new pCon.planner version is released, to try it out for yourself. And in case you have any questions how to apply those materials in the future, please let us know, of course. So going back to my presentation, as you already saw, the material editor has been enhanced in a way that we indeed support the new effects for sheen, clear code, emissive, and opacity or transparency textures. We have a cleaner user interface, or a cleaner layout as we call it. And the way that you apply texture maps are the same for all related texture channels. So it could be done by dragging and dropping, by copying, pasting, but it's the same for all textures that you want to apply. And as I already told you, more or less, we removed the brightness control. So for now, you have to choose like a basic color and make a texture on top of it, alternatively. So the materials window, the most striking thing that I want to talk to you about that is that we switched to a vertical layout instead of like a horizontal layout. And you also have like the option to hide the material editor, which is being shown on the right-hand side via the hamburger menu, as we call it. Within the materials editor, you have the possibility to show or hide the editing section in a way that the pCon.planner will only showcase the materials, the material library that you use within your planning. So going to the rendering part, based upon the usage of the enhanced materials, but also in general, we fully support the extended materials in the real-time and photorealistic rendering. We furthermore improved the Osprey performance, which is almost twice as fast as before. So our colleagues in Germany have managed to make the performance almost twice as fast based on a test set of real customer examples. And we furthermore support like an unlimited number of light emitting geometries, which was restricted to an amount of 1,000 before, but you now have the possibility to go like all the way. And the things I mentioned above apply to the batch rendering version as well, both the local one and the server construction. So to give you like a concrete example of a render, this is the old situation within the old pCon.planner, and especially look upon the floor, because this is like the new way that the new plannings and with the enhanced materials are being rendered. So going one step back, one step forward, you can really see the difference applied to the materials being used in your drawing and in your render eventually. And also within translucent materials, we managed to create a more precise light distribution, as you can see on the examples that are being shown on this slide. So that was like the first topic. The second topic that I want to talk to you about is the introduction of models. So we are increasingly talking about models. You may already recognize those models from pCon catalog, but with the new pCon.planner release, they become visible in multiple applications, not only pCon.planner, sorry, but also in pCon box and in the web version of pCon.planner. So basically in pCon.planner, we offer two different libraries ourselves. So the product configurator and the pCon catalog. And for users, sometimes it's not entirely clear from which library an object comes from. So with the introduction of the models and articles concept, we bring a stronger differentiation between what we call technically OFML products with price information and pCon catalog products without price information. So the breakdown between those models and articles is going to recur in, as I said, various pCon applications. So not only pCon.planner, but also in the web version of pCon.planner and in pCon box, as I already mentioned. So to give you like a definition, a model represents an object with a geometry and a description of the object and or the geometry that's in place. And that's what you can see, for example, in the pCon catalog. An article represents a product with a price, description, and an optional geometry, but is a product for which the user can enter into a legal obligation to offer it. So in this way, you can think of a dealer who has a partnership or a contract with one or more manufacturers for which he offers and sells the according products in this case. How is the application being done? So models can include product information, may contain only limited information from pCon catalog, but never include price information, as I already told you. Articles are being part of an article list, commercial workflow, or in export files such as OBX, OBK, Excel, or CSV. But models are not. So that's something very important that you have to keep in mind. But nonetheless, models are supported in pCon.planner Standard and Marketing Editions 2, which applies for all manufacturers in this case. So the model processes, the models are created by downloading from pCon catalog and can be used in PEC, PBox, and DWG files and are retained or saved in DWG and PEC exports. In other exports, they are just geometries. Models can be configured via an additional browser window, but requires an online connection and can be converted to regular articles if the required OFML data is available for the user locally. That's the main difference that I have to state. So models can always be converted to user articles in this case. So the identification of those models, the models are being labeled accordingly in the product information window. So as you can see once you download a model from pCon Catalog and you go to the product information tab, you will also always see the label model in this case. And they have their own layer name within the layer structure, as you can see on the right-hand side. So what you are maybe also know is that the property window doesn't show additional info for models. So by articles, the system does so. Then I'm going to showcase some examples for you as well. So I have two different models that I downloaded from pCon Catalog. And this is a model from manufacturer Muto. And via the plus icon, I have the possibility to change the configuration of this article coming from pCon Catalog. Resolution is quite large, as I can see. That's kind of strange. My bad. Don't know why the system is doing this. But nonetheless, when you click on the plus icon, you have the possibility to change the configuration of this model accordingly, but the system will take you back to the pCon Catalog area in which you downloaded the model in first place. This is like a whiteboard from Chameleon in which you could say, I want to change from a model to an article. So in this case, coming from pCon Catalog, you don't have any configurations possibilities whatsoever. But changing it from a model into an article, the system says one model was converted into an article, and going to the properties area, you will have the configuration options and pricing information in place, because the system now detects that we're talking about an article and not about a model anymore. So that's the way that you could apply this technique within your own drawings, in case you would like to. So you can download a model from pCon Catalog, and if the relevant manufacturers has loaded the OFML data also into pCon Catalog, it's possible to convert it. So it can be done in all versions of pCon.planner, so also in the standard and in the ME edition. And you could also convert complete drawings from models to articles. So the system then will detect how many conversions can or cannot be performed successfully. So going to the third part, the online services part, we first make a connection between the pCon Catalog to the modeling concept. And what I mean by that is the pCon Catalog, the downloaded objects from pCon Catalog, as we already saw within the second topic, are automatically converted into models. And static models retain pCon Catalog information in form of a user article. So it's always possible to create like user articles in pCon.planner based upon models that you download within pCon.planner. But in case that the OFML data of a manufacturer is not in place. So furthermore, for pCon Catalog, we improved like the basic usability, which means that the last view of the pCon Catalog is preserved by reopening the pCon Catalog window, and the materials tab also preserves the current view. But a kind of a remark, this just works with the pCon Catalog window and not within the integrated browser within pCon.planner. Furthermore, we have like an improved download handling. So for a better error handling and logging coming from pCon catalog. Then the topic of Impress. So the process for sharing with Impress has been simplified. So previously we had two separate workflows for sharing in 3D and in AR, augmented reality. So with that, you had to make a choice right at the front end, at the start of your process. But now you only have like one share button in place. So a QR code is generated as usual. But once you like scan the QR code, for example, you directly go to the 3D view of the model. And within this 3D view, you will find like a box icon with arrows that you kind of recognize for being the AR function. So yeah, where you can place the model in AR if you would like to do so. Furthermore, the EAR format is no longer used within pCon. Instead, we use a smaller PEC file, so a PEC file, to make your drawings or models visible. And the camera view from the working pane is used for direct visualization in Impress. So to give you a concrete example, going back to this one. Once I select this this view will be used to generate the 3D view within the planner. In this case, I'm clicking wrong. I'm going to presentation and I will say share accordingly. And from here, a QR code is being generated. And by, for example, scanning this QR code, you will enter like the 3D view of the drawing, and like from there you have the possibility to enter the AR view from there. Furthermore, this window also shows the checkbox show article information, which means that if you check this box, the pCon.planner will also incorporate the article information of the 3D models if capable. In case you deselect this checkbox, the pCon.planner won't generate the according article information within your presentation via Impress in this case. So that's also good to know. As you can see over here. So there's an option to disable before sharing the link, and that kind of makes clear whether you want to showcase the article information within your visualization or not. The fourth topic, new measurement features. The dimensions of selected walls, so inner walls, outer walls, floors, ceilings, and pitch roofs, can be viewed within the properties editor. Within the information area, you can use the calculated surfaces in an easier way to roughly determine what you need for wall paint, for example. And the example being showcased on the screen for walls, this is like a new feature that distinguishes information between the inner and the outer walls. So the outer wall refers to the area size A, and the inner wall refers to the area size B. And the first value displaced is the size of the wall excluding the room elements. And the second value within the brackets is the total area, including the room or wall elements. So the labels A and B in this case are also being shown in the drawing itself. So if you put in doors, windows, or maybe glass walls, you will really see the difference. So let me take you to pCon.planner from there again. And zooming in into my drawing, selecting the wall in this case, you will see like a label A and a label B, which gives you some detailed information about the surface of the selected element with and without the incorporated wall elements in this case. So that's also the information that is being shown here on the right hand side within the properties. So this is not only applying to 3D models, but also to 2D models. As you can see over here. So this is a 2D shape of a heart, as you can see. And on the right-hand side, you will find some more information about the area size and the parameter in this case. However, you have to keep in mind that it has to be a model that is really enclosed, because once I do this, for example, the system will say invalid for the area size because it isn't able to calculate the area size anymore. So that's something that you kind of have to take into account. But as you can see, the dimensions of 2D drawing elements are also displayed. So this includes like polylines, rectangles, areas, shaded 2D elements, and more. And for example, this gives you the possibility to use these shapes as a tool to determine the areas and parameters of custom rooms in this case. So maybe not in a square or in a rectangle, but in a custom shape. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss about the measurements. Taking me back to the presentation again. Going to the last topic, ceiling grid system. We have like a more flexible ceiling grid system within 8.12 version of pCon.planner. So previously within pCon.planner, you could basically choose between a flat ceiling and a grid, or a so-called ceiling system. And the grids of a ceiling system were always square. And from version 8.12 onwards, we kind of created like more possibilities, as you can also see on my screen. So after placing a ceiling, which is still done the same way, we have like some enhanced settings for grid ceilings that are accessible via the properties editor. And here you can choose from various standard sizes or custom values to define like a ceiling grid. And for example, you can think of rectangular tiles or S-shaped tiles, but also settings for joints, spotlight parameters, and offset options to give you more creative freedom in this case. So as I say, it's allowing you to design ceilings in a custom way. So looking from a top view, this is kind of what you see within the pCon.planner, and I will showcase it to you directly in the application later on as well. So yeah, new information properties also for the number of whole and partial tiles, as you can also detect within the planning itself, and the number of fixtures for the constructions of light sources in this case. So a concrete example of how it should look, how it could look in this case, and taking you to the pCon.planner and giving you a concrete example on how it could look. It could look like this, for example. So I'm entering the settings of my ceiling system grid from a perspective view, and by double clicking I will now get like a dynamic window on top of my screen where I can like add or maybe remove some parts of my ceiling grid in this case. So for example, I want to create some extra spots in this case, or I maybe want to add some reflectors. You can see that it's done over here in this case. So yeah, I would encourage you to try that out for yourself, also with the new possibilities. By going to the property window, you will also have the possibility to create joints in this case. Yeah, and change the measurements of the grid itself, for example. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to discuss to you with you about the ceiling grid system. And as you can see, also the information shown below is the tiles count, full and partial. As you can also detect that there are also partial tiles in place, the fixtures count, so basically how many light sources could be incorporated, and the area size of the ceiling grid. So go try that out for yourself, as I already wanted to encourage you in this case. So also looking at the time, I guess this is it. Maybe some final encore. This is what it could look like indeed by completely editing your ceiling grid, for example.
All right,
So
Mark.
that was it from my side, I guess, for now.
Thank you very much. I'm going to show us on the screen again. Maybe you can stop sharing.
Yeah.
Looking at the question page, I didn't see any questions coming in yet, but maybe now you have some more questions you would like to ask us. Please send them in the Q&A section. I see we have still 5 minutes left. So in the meantime, I'm going to thank you very much for attending this webinar already. So also, if you're interested in training your team, for example, on how to use the pCon.planner, please know that we also offer different types of training, both online and offline. And you can choose between, for example, basic techniques, presentation techniques, or personalized training. If you're interested in that, please contact us via support@easterngraphics.nl. And you can also ask any remaining questions there. You may have seen on some of the slides that some features are only available in pro versions of the pCon.planner. If you would like to know the differences between the pro version or the free version, then we can also give you a short presentation on that as well. I think I saw some... I saw a question. Are there any updates on pCon.planner next?
Well, that's something that's not kind of included in this webinar, I'm afraid, because we now stick to the desktop version, obviously. The pCon.planner Next is still in beta, as you might know. But yeah, to give you like a clear answer, I have to get back to you another time.
All right. Thank you, Mark. One more
My pleasure.
question. Is the new pCon.planner version going to be automatically updated on Monday, or do we have to do it by ourselves?
The manual variant is being released Monday, the 5th of May. The automatic update will come swiftly after that, but to be honest, I don't know the exact date, but I can look it up afterwards.
Yes, and we'll definitely inform you about it as well on our socials. So please check them out. Since we're running out of time, I would really like to thank you for your attention during this webinar. The session has been recorded, and as I said at the beginning, we will share it with you via email. And we would also really appreciate it if you could fill out the survey form with regards to this webinar. It will be in the email as well. So thank you very much. We wish you a
Also from
very
my
nice
side.
day with good weather, and we'll definitely see or speak to each other soon. Maybe Mark will see you at Clerkenwell Design Week in May. That would be awesome. And then we wish you a great day.
Have a nice day, everybody.
All right.
And thank you.
Bye-bye.